This podcast is brought to you by Meteorate.
Welcome to the Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs podcast, where every fortnight, your hosts, Adam Shepherd and Natasha Price, take a long, hard look at the world through the eyes of two people who believe in grabbing life by the balls and squeezing tighter than Borat in a mankini. The good, the bad, the often cringeworthy, but most importantly, the hilarity that can, and often does, ensue. If you're looking for fluffy sunshine and rainbows, My Little Pony meets Care Bears type of purity, you've probably come to the wrong place. If you're after good conversation, warped humour, quick wit, a touch of sarcasm, two proud people with disabilities with the no holes barred, leave no stump unturned outlook on life, welcome home. How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. Welcome back.
I know it's been a while.
It's been a while. We've had a bit going on, but we'll get into that. No guest today.
No guest today.
I attempted. There was several attempts made.
Absolutely.
But nothing fell into place, unfortunately, because people have lives and get busy and stuff. So.
Yes.
Anyway. What's going on today in today's
in today's show?
I can't speak.
I know neither of us can today. This is going to be a
God.
really, really, really interesting episode because we're both being a little bit shit.
I think my microphone needs a little blue pill.
I know. You definitely got a bit of droop going on
there. Oh, my goodness. All right.
Okay,
it's enough crassness for...
Oh, really? You reckon that's going to be the only bit of crassness for the show?
I'm aiming, but we all know that that's not going to happen.
No,
so.
Not with me around.
No.
Okay, so in today's show, for Moron of the Day, we're going to be talking about disability parking and a little incident that happened with you.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, I know, right? Soapbox session, we're going to be getting a little bit controversial.
We are.
And talking about the upcoming referendum here in Australia.
We don't get controversial ever.
Okay, and then we're going to be doing the kindness virus, talking about an event that we recently took part in, and
we've just come back from, and it was a boatload of fun. So we'll get into that.
Get into that, and for social media.
Social media takedown. Yeah.
We're going to be talking about what are we talking about?
The old COVID chestnut.
The old COVID chestnut.
I've used chestnut twice now, but that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But
anyway, it's going to be a good show, and I reckon we should get into things.
Let's have some fun. Alrighty then.
It's the Moron of the Day.
So
for those of you that are watching on the live won't actually be hearing hearing the intros to the show. So we've been directed to sing.
Yeah.
So if it goes a little bit silent on the Facebook Live, you'll understand why. It's not just us being totally crap.
Yeah, we've changed a bit of tech at the moment, and we're still trying to figure some stuff out.
So yes. Anyway, next time it should be good, but this time you're getting our wonderful voices and a little bit of singing and joyfulness.
There's not a soul alive that wants that.
No, I know that they're all thinking, okay, we're turning off now, or pretty much, please kill me now.
Pretty lost everyone. Anyway, moron of the day. So, look, I'm sort of in two minds, and I thought a lot about whether this lady should be our moron of the day, but I'm going to put it out there.
Oh, well, I mean, on some levels, no, but on some levels, 100% yes.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, tell the story.
So I'm parked in a disabled car park. I actually got one. Awesome. And I was about to go into our local shopping centre, and I was just getting my stuff organised before I pulled my chair out. And this lady comes up, knocks on the window, and she says to me, "Excuse me, is there a reason you're parked in a disabled car park?" And I said, "Well, notwithstanding the fact I've got no legs, there's a few other reasons as well." And she's like, "Oh, right you are. Have a good day then," and walked off. Or something to that effect anyway. I can't remember. But
okay, so all right, I have two thoughts with this. Like,
yes.
It's all well and good, people kind of sticking up for others with a disability and saying, you shouldn't be using those parking spots, which is fantastic. It's what we want. We want allies. We want people to call others out when they're using facilities that they should not be using if they don't have a disability.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the flip side, there are invisible disabilities that
There is.
people can get parking permits for. But to me, the fact that she knocked on the window and said that, it's just a whole load of unconscious bias there. That, you know, people believing that you can't possibly be sort of under the age of 60 and have a disability, or do you know what I mean? It's that you know, often when you and I pull up into a car parking spot, we get it a lot.
We get those looks, and I mean, I probably notice them a little bit more than you do.
Yeah, because I can't see shit.
Because you can't see shit. But you and I, you know, two youngish, one very healthy, one trying to be reasonably healthy person in wheelchairs, trying to get out of the car or getting out of the car, and people just, if they look at you and they make that assumption. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, what do you need a disabled? And then they see the no legs and the two wheelchairs, and
but it is at the end of the day, the reason we're kind of saying this person's a moron is because she had that automatic assumption you couldn't possibly have a disability and require that
and
spot.
I had my permit, like,
right there in the mirror.
If you ever have that penchant to pull somebody up on penchant. I'm not French, sorry, or fancy for that matter. To pull somebody up on that, just check their windscreen first. Make sure there's not actually a disabled parking permit.
Hang on. Do you know what? Have we spoken about the other thing that happened with us with parking? But I know we spoke about the first incident with the note on the mirror. Have we spoken about the second incident?
I got another note.
You got a second note on your car, didn't you?
Oh man, yeah.
I don't remember whether we actually ended up talking about this or not. I don't think we did. But
no.
Yeah, note number 2, and this time, what were you called?
No, she didn't. Don't know. She actually called me anything. It was.
Did she call herself a Karen?
Yeah, she called herself a pissed off Karen. I'm like, well, at least you're aware.
Yeah, but the funniest thing about it was you took 2 parking spots because once again, the place we went to has like 3 parking spots for the entire shopping mall, and it's a huge place.
It is, yes.
Logan Hyperdome, if you're listening.
Hello,
you
Logan.
Need to
thank
sort
you.
Your disabled parking out. It's just bloody terrible.
We love Logan,
but
actually.
We love the centre, but like there's nowhere to park. Anyway, so there was a lot of difficulty with that. But then, you know, if anyone bothered to actually look on the car, they'd see the disabled parking. And if there were people that actually had an awareness of the fact that you need that extra space to get in and out of the vehicle, maybe they'd understand why we have to take 2 spots in that kind of situation. And it's not like we do it when it's busy or and we go to the furthest place away that you can possibly go, which, you know, has its own set of issues for us sometimes, especially for me when I can't see the bloody potholes and all the other shit you've got to navigate.
100%.
So like, we're being thoughtful of other people when we're doing it. Guys, just, you know, if you are a non-disabled person and you see a car that has a wheelchair permit on it, maybe or disabled permit on it, maybe have that kind of thought in the back of your head that there may be possibly a really genuine reason why we have to do that. And
it's like, because, you know, for us, our disabilities, and you mentioned, you know, invisible disabilities before. Yeah. For you and I, you know, we both use wheelchairs. It's out there. It's, you know, and I have no legs.
Yeah.
But, you know, one of my best friends also has rheumatoid arthritis, and on a good day, she's walking down the street, and you'd never know the difference. Yep. You have rheumatoid as well.
I do have rheumatoid.
So, I mean, once again, the chair kind of gives it away a little bit with you. But anyway, speaking of parking and and all things accessible, we did a really cool event last weekend, didn't we?
We did.
Oceania Throwdown.
Yes, it was awesome. Why? How have we gone from parking to that? Sorry, I'm missing the.
I was trying to segue.
Sorry, that totally threw me. I'm like, okay, where?
I'll warn you next time. I'm like, okay, really big sideways segue coming now. Be warned, it's about to happen.
Yeah, okay.
It was a segue because
so we finished the last segment and we've gone on to this one. Then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Because we're leading into kindness virus.
Okay, yeah, all right. No.
Absolutely.
All right, carry on.
Carry on.
I'm
keep up with me here.
It's hard to follow you sometimes.
Please, just follow me.
Go on, carry on.
Well, it kind of it led in because we were talking about parking, and at this event there was a shitload of cripples.
Oh, there was, but so Nissan Arena in Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
Where Oceania Throwdown was held. So for those of you that don't know, Oceania Throwdown is it's a CrossFit competition for adaptive and also masters athletes.
Masters athletes.
Okay,
as
so
well,
it's
athletes.
the only one in Australia aimed at the adaptive community, and my God, it was fantastic. But the one thing we were really concerned about was like, oh my God, can you hear that? There is something loud going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's going running to find out what it is. I think it was
hang on, guys, on the live for a minute. Oh, there was a garbage truck.
Excellent.
So the producer just came in and Ruby just came in and told us that there is a garbage truck outside. That just freaked me the hell out.
Who needs added sound effects?
I know, when you have the sound of a garbage truck. That's crazy considering the soundproofing in the studio as well. That's nuts.
Maybe that's telling us that we need to quit while we're ahead.
Probably.
Maybe there's
some kind of... They've come to pick us up and take us away.
There's some kind of hidden meaning there.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
all right. Yeah. So anyway, it was held at Nissan Arena, and there were a shit ton of cripples there. I mean, lots of wheelchair users, lots of amps, lots of amputees, lots of people with CP, all those kind of different disabilities, and we were really concerned whether there would be enough accessible parking for everyone. But my God, they do it well at that place. There is a shit ton of parking.
It was about 10 times as many car parks there as there was at bloody Logan Hyperdome. That's for sure.
For something that's
hello, Logan. We do love you. We're not giving you shit for no reason. We are.
We kind of are, but it needs sorted. Anyway, but Oceania Throwdown, what an event! You smashed it, dude.
New thing for both of us.
We were admittedly completely untrained in this style of fitness because of all of our recent health issues, hospital stays, operations, all that kind of stuff.
You and I have both been through the ringer a little bit.
We have. It's been a few months of shit.
Yeah. I was in hospital for blood pressure, and which medication made me put on a lot of weight and made things a bit more difficult. You had your tube, your feeding tube, and all that done.
Yeah, and had my feeding tube removed, and then I had to have a second. I had to have a procedure to fix the issues that caused, and yes. Anyway, we saw, and we bloody conquered. We did. Like I was proud of myself for that one, because I was actually lifting the same weights as the girls that have movement in their legs, that have hip flexors and can stand. Which I was, it's really hard to explain to someone the difference it makes when you're in a wheelchair and you don't have your legs to kind of stabilize you. So you'll particularly understand it because you haven't even got legs kind of balancing you out.
It was really funny trying to explain to some of these people that I'm not just an amputee. I'm also a para, which means I don't have I don't have like quads, hamstrings. Very little hip flexor.
Yeah. So for you, stabilizing above your head and doing some of the things is like ridiculously hard work. Yeah.
It was fun though. I mean, we both went in there not really having an understanding of where we're at with different exercises and all that sort of thing. And I think, we safe to say we both surprised ourselves.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I was 2 weeks out of abdominal surgery and 5 days out of having done Sydney Marathon, which I will talk about in a little bit. But
crazy woman.
Yeah, like I did not have any expectations going into that thing. I didn't even know if I'd get through it or not, if I'm honest. But I'm a bit crazy. And
you are a little bit.
Son of a
but
bitch.
it was a boatload of fun, and I did. My one regret is I did one of the things we did was bench press.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I could lift.
No, because you and I, we can't. It's difficult because it's just the two of us training together. We don't have any assistance from.
We don't
a
have PT with us,
yeah.
or another PT with us, or
to spot us. Yeah.
So
for us to kind of practice what our 1 rep max is actually near impossible.
Yeah.
So like we both went in there with an idea of what the weight would be in our heads, and
so I hit so the way it went was you have 5 attempts and 2 minutes in between attempts. Now if you fail an attempt, you can try again
at the same weight,
or you've got to wait till your next 2 minutes to lower the weight,
or go up a weight,
or go up a weight.
Yeah.
So my plan was on my third round. My third round of 2 minutes, I was going to hit my maximum weight.
Or what you thought was
what I thought was going to be my maximum weight, which was 70 kilos. And I thought I'm going to hit that then. And if by some chance I'm feeling good and I could do better, then I've got 2 more rounds to give that a crack. So I got my 70 kilos and I'm like, oh, okay.
Shit, that was easy.
I'm like, I am the Hulk. Or something like that. Anyway, yeah.
That sounded like Arnie more than the Hulk. So
I am the Hulk. No, I don't know. What does the Hulk sound like?
He sounds like oh god, I was going to say Bruce Jenner then, but that was not.
What the hell?
No,
Bruce Jenner.
No, the Hulk in the
Pretty sure Bruce Jenner's not the Hulk.
No, me too. Completely different avenue.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah,
Lou Ferrigno. Yeah, I'm
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner.
Yeah, isn't it Bruce
Eric Banner?
Eric Banner. No, Bruce. But in the old one, that was Lou Ferrigno.
Yes,
I know, but what's his name? The scientist who becomes the
Hulk.
I
don't bloody
it's
know
Bruce
that.
something.
I'm
sure it's Bruce something.
Yeah.
If anyone's on here watching, please tell me what it is, because it's going to do my head in if I can't remember.
And I'm staying away from doing a Lou Ferrigno impersonation, because Lou Ferrigno.
I'm glad you continued with that, with the impersonation you're doing Lou Ferrigno. There's issues.
No. I'm staying away from that, because for those of you that don't know, Lou Ferrigno, for all intents and purposes, seems like an amazing guy, has a hearing impairment, and because of his hearing impairment, has a bit of a speech impediment as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I wouldn't want to be mistaken for taking the piss, because I don't do that.
Okay.
No. Okay. Anyway.
All right. Anyway, sorry. Where will we go? Oh yeah. Anyway, so you got to your 70 kilos and you're like,
got to my 70 kilos. Yeah. Okay. We're back on track. Back on track. So we got to my 70 kilos. I'm thinking, oh, this is all right. I'm like, throw another 10 on. So threw another 10 kilos. I'm like, oh, okay. Did this. So my last attempt got to 85. And I still had more in the tank.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
I was pissed.
Yeah, and exactly the same thing happened with me.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I'd probably, if I was lucky, especially with my stomach, that I might be able to do 40.
Yep.
And so I got to 40 on the 3rd attempt and was like, oh, bollocks, I have got far. Bollocks, yeah. Bollocks.
There's an English saying if ever I've heard one.
I've got far more in the tank. So, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to up it by 5. Got to 45. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, do I go to 50 or do I try and go above 50? And I was like, nah, I'm giving my stomach as well. I'm just going to try 50. I reckon that's going to be it for me. I got to 50. I'm like, nah, I reckon I could have probably got up to about 60.
Yeah.
So I'm really disappointed. But at the same time, also very, very proud of myself. Because
yeah, absolutely. That was awesome.
At the end of the day, like, and both of us, very, very proud of both of us.
Yeah.
Neither of us had any clue with that one. And yeah.
I lift things up and put them down.
Yeah, like, and we both, weight-wise, compared to the others, did really well anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, we did. I need to practice more
overhead stuff.
Yeah, that's just a thing.
Anyway. And that's the same for both of us. Yeah.
So on that track, let's get into kindness virus.
Do it. The kindness virus. I'm doing it for the Facebook audience.
I actually thought that was I was like, that's earlier than I expected.
And that's because I am awesome, and I can recreate my creative genius from doing the intro.
Yep.
all that time ago, just, off the top of my head.
Yes. But anyways, moving right along.
Moving on.
So we had such an amazing experience at Oceania Throwdown. It was the first purposely adaptive CrossFit competition this country's seen.
Yeah.
It's really big in the US, and the guys that put it together collaborated with the US team
from Wheelwad.
To bring it here. So Renee Cunningham, Sarah Bradley,
and Jeremy,
and I can't think of Jazz's.
Jeremy.
I cannot think of, and all your team.
No, yeah, anyway.
You guys are bloody spectacular human.
Yes.
Spectacular.
Spectacular.
That's us. We're
That's
spectacular. And we're incredibly grateful. We really are.
So let's put this into perspective here. Renee put hundreds of thousands of dollars of her own money into making this event work for the adaptive and masters community. Sarah worked for, what was it, like 3 months or something without pay to try, no, sorry, 8 months.
Something like that.
Without pay to bring this event together. There were multiple volunteers that came along literally just to hold our chairs and make sure that we were safe whilst taking part in these activities. When you're lifting heavy weight but above your head, the chances of tipping out of a chair are multiple.
Yes.
Don't you say anything. Okay, I'll
what
say
do you
it.
mean?
So, I tipped out of my chair.
You did. Yeah.
on the first.
I know.
First
and it was
day.
it was because I'm sitting on the sidelines watching, and so the person beside me was like, "Oh my God, Ashira." I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, not already, not again."
I like tipped full over backwards. Like all these people are running towards me, and then the wheelwad guys are like, "Fucking leave her."
Exactly.
I'm like, no, I'm, as an elite athlete, you're used to not being allowed to accept help and assistance when you're in the middle of comp. So for me, I was just on the floor laughing because I find this shit hilarious.
And me too. And everyone's looking at her. You're an asshole. You're laughing at her. I'm like,
it's like, this is a regular occurrence.
Come and live a day in my shoes, or not my shoes.
No shoes.
On my tires? No, that doesn't work. I don't know. I'll have to think of something new for that one.
Your stumps?
Yeah. Come and live a day in my stumps. So you probably don't want that either.
Anyway, so there were guys just, holding our chairs, clearly not very well if I did.
Nope.
No, on this occasion, it was fully my fault. I reached behind me to grab a 35 kilo weight. So that was fully my own doing.
The funniest part was the person that was next to me, when I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, here we go again." They're like, "Oh, is this a bit of a regular thing?" I'm like, it's never a matter of if Tash is going to fall out, but when. And even I was surprised at how soon it happened.
Like literally the first wad it happened. My God. Anyway, but yes,
you were getting it out of the way for the rest of the competition.
I managed to stay in the rest of the time.
Yeah, it was great.
I think that's because we figured a few things out. But anyway, so like the volunteers were fantastic. The audience was fantastic. The people that came along and joined in and supported us, but also like the guys from like BoxFit that that sponsored the event, but also did a lot for us and the adaptive community whilst there. We had got some great t-shirts and stuff done through those guys. If you get the chance to look them up on Instagram, BoxFit Apparel, they're incredible. They make custom made designs, and they're very, very reasonable, so take a look. And yes, it was just
the Shaka Project. So the Shaka Project are a organisation that support mental health. And a really, really, really amazing, great group of people. Why? Don't do that. You'll make me fall over.
Well, stop bloody bouncing around.
I want to bounce around. Anyway, my God. So they were there supporting the event as well, and which was really cool. And we were fortunate enough to see a lot of people supporting them as well, which was really cool. So if you're looking for a great organisation to support in the mental health arena, the Shaka Project is definitely one of those.
And we've got to mention Equip.
Yes.
Equip
Yeah.
What's the rest of it? Equip Sports?
Equip Sports, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, these guys do make adaptive equipment for the adaptive community. So, like, we wheelchair users can't use bikes.
Yeah.
But they make the assault style bikes. So what they do is
I'd like to see you try.
Oh, I know, it'd be good fun.
It'd be hilarious.
Well, we would just kind of sit there and look at it because there's not really much you can do.
Yeah.
But they make handles that go on the handlebars so that you can do it as upper body cardio. And my God, it's more difficult than it looks.
Oh, it's hard. I got into this. I'm like, I know how to. I'm good at a ski erg. I'll smash this.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy
shit,
bloody hell!
It's hard work.
My God.
Yeah, I mean it's enjoyable, but yeah, it's. And do you know what? The hardest thing about it is you want to go faster, but it won't let you. So it's actually there's quite a lot of resistance on it, which gets exhausting. Anyway, they also do things like lap
Hippie
pads
chippy.
and.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Equip.
Yeah.
Equip products.
Finish with equip,
Anyway,
then I'll.
Yeah, I've lost what I was going to say.
Sorry,
Carry on.
lap pads.
And
they do adaptive skipping ropes.
Split ropes, yeah.
Split ropes, yeah, which are really cool. That was weird, me doing that, because I was doing like the skipping motion, and I don't know if you know, but
people are wondering what you're doing.
I don't know if you know, but people in wheelchairs really suck at skipping.
Yeah, it's not our thing.
Really, really suck. But
a bit like people in wheelchairs and hurdles, really.
But they're ropes that have got like this much rope, and you.
How much rope? Because not everyone's watching.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. About a foot and a half of rope. Foot and a half of rope.
Yeah.
I have no feet, so my feet went to the adaptive rope. No, and
sorry, I'm completely lost. Carry on.
Foot and a half.
Ah.
Oh my God.
Subway sandwich.
Yeah,
that's your nickname.
Yeah, well, I used to have a foot and a half.
Excuse me. What exactly did you have amputated?
Because I had 1 foot and I had half a foot, remember?
Oh, okay.
What were you...
I wondered what the hell you were talking about then. See, I told you that there was no way that we could get through for a whole episode without it. All right, carry on.
All right, you know what? I vote that we move on.
I don't know. Have we spoken about? Oh, you were going to talk about someone else then. Chippy.
Oh, Hippie Chippy.
Hippie Chippy.
Yeah. So the Hippie Chippy they make gym equipment, boards, floorboards, and things, and they make weights and stuff, and all out. It sounds weird, but they're weights for bars and stuff, and they're all made out of wood. So
yeah,
it's very,
it's
very cool.
very cool.
I don't know how to explain it actually, but Hippie Chippy, very, very cool.
Anyway, so I think we just overall wanted to give a shout out to everyone that was there at the event.
Yes.
Helping out, supporting, an incredible event with an incredible atmosphere and people that are really trying to make a difference in the world for everyone, inclusively.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, there are that many CrossFit competitions, that many, different fitness style competitions out there for the non-disabled community, but there really isn't much out there that allows us to inclusively take part, but B, that targets us specifically. So it was really nice to have that, and so well done.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of inclusion that gets put into things, but it's in an ableist kind of bullshit way.
Yeah.
Which is all nice
tokenistic.
Tokenistic. Yeah. It's all nice and feel good and fluffy, but we were there to work and work we did.
Exactly. Like, disabled sports, there is quite often this assumption that, it's a bit fluffy. It's a bit, isn't that nice? Oh, you little wheelchair users, aren't you lovely?
Oh, you guys can lift things up too.
Good job. They don't half the time we're lifting heavier than the able-bodied.
Yes.
Like, it's, in powerlifting, for example, the weights that the powerlifters lift are often heavier than the weights that the non-disabled athletes lift, which is it goes to show how hard we work and the amount of effort we have to put in to be able to do what we do. So please, if you have that assumption, maybe check your thinking.
Check yourself. Check yourself.
Check this. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
Cool. I vote we move on.
I vote we move on too.
Do you know, and you like that little segue there? Because we're about to talk about a referendum.
Oh, Jesus.
I thought that was a really good segue.
You carry on. If you can get the button right. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that one. Like two cripples using a beach towel to skydive. This could go anywhere. Welcome to the soapbox session.
Oh, you got it wrong.
I cocked it up. It's welcome to the soapbox session.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
For those people in Facebook land watching
Yeah.
who are going to be looking at us going, well, these two don't know shit about anything.
I know, it's weird because we've got it going on in our ears, but we know that you can't
You
hear
can't,
it.
yeah. So
anyway.
anyway.
So we're going to get a little bit serious, a little bit controversial, which, is not like us generally.
Isn't it though?
No.
Not with something political.
We try and keep things on the lighter side, but this is a conversation I think it's important to have.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you living outside of Australia, and for those of you maybe who do live in Australia but maybe living under a rock right now, we've got a referendum coming up.
We do.
Now, we haven't had a referendum it's not like this, but a referendum of this sort in 30 years.
Yeah.
And that's when Queensland voted down daylight savings.
Okay.
And since then, it has never seen the light of day.
Bumpty bum.
Yes. Did you like what I did there?
That was terrible.
Oh, it was awesome. So this referendum is all about, very simply, a yes or no vote as to whether our Indigenous community get or have a voice in our parliament.
Yeah, and the Voice, as it's called, is basically a think tank and an advisory group within the political structure that basically allows people with Indigenous backgrounds who have been voted in to be able to give advice to government on matters that affect them. It is purely an advisory group. They have no political power, but they do have the ability to advise government on matters that will make a difference in their own lives.
Exactly. I think I've had a few conversations with people out there at the moment, and I'll be the first one to admit I don't think our government has given us anywhere near enough information about what the Voice will do and what it stands for and how it will be run.
Yeah.
But I was talking to somebody who is in the know about, in that area, and the way it was explained to me was that if this gets voted down, like when we voted 30 years ago for daylight savings or against daylight savings, if it gets voted down now, it'll never see the light of day again.
Yeah, so it will mean that people that are just trying to get the right to self-autonomy and to make decisions that only they understand, and we as disabled people get that. If you're not a wheelchair user, it's impossible to understand the needs of a wheelchair user. Even if you think you understand, you cannot fully understand it.
Exactly.
So people with an Indigenous background, they should have that opportunity to be able to make those decisions for themselves, or have representatives within Parliament that really truly understand what their needs are to make those decisions. Now, if it is voted down, if the Voice is voted down, there is going to be that assumption that people in Australia do not support Indigenous rights, which I actually don't think is the case. I think the majority of people actually do support the rights of Indigenous people, of them being constitutionally recognised and all that kind of stuff. I do think that's supported. However, there at the moment there's this whole thing that people are like, well, government's not explaining it. We don't have any information. We don't know this. We don't know that. My thought with this is, we don't really know anything that this government's doing. Like, we at a democracy, the whole
we
point,
are the last people to find out what goes on in that building.
Yeah. So as a democracy, we vote a government in. We vote our leaders in order to make decisions on behalf of the people.
Yeah.
We we put our votes in on the policies that they put on the table during the election period, and then we vote yes or no depending on whether we agree with those or not. And and then the decisions are up to them.
Yep.
We have no say in that once they are in power. We can change the party when the next election comes along, but that's just the way it is.
Exactly.
So why is it on this particular issue that people are so much like, oh, but I don't know everything about it. They're not telling me enough. Well, that's not really the point.
No.
Because we don't know everything about every single little intricacy of government.
No.
The fact of the matter is, this is about giving rights to people who deserve to have their rights looked after, and we need to do something to help them.
Absolutely. I mean,
and yes, there's lots about this whole thing I'm uncomfortable with in what they've told us so far, but I don't want to see this, like you said with daylight savings, be left another 30 years before they get any kind of recognition. And other people saying, oh, well, there's 9 Indigenous leaders that are involved in government now, but what real power do they have with regards to the stuff that is actually important specifically to the Indigenous community?
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
and I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. If you follow the news and you live in our country, there's a lot going on in our Indigenous communities. There's illness, obviously. There's there's drugs and alcohol and issues with children and there's a whole gamut of things. But if we stand idly by and not lend the extra support that needs, what are we doing?
Yeah,
nothing's going to change.
No, it's true, and nothing's going to change. And I think a lot of the arguments people have is like, oh, we throw money at at the Aboriginal community, we give them handouts, we do this, we do that, and I actually think there's a real huge misconception behind this. It's the same as with people with disabilities. Everybody makes that assumption that we all receive disability pension, disability benefits, and it's actually far, far, far harder than you realise to get. You can't get disability.
No, apparently I'm not disabled enough.
So that is just a little inkling of what people with an Indigenous background also have to deal with. They also have to go through a lot in order to get any kind of help and support. So don't think that it's as simple as that we're just throwing money at people, because that's just not the way it works in reality.
No, I think I don't think you can have too much representation.
Yeah,
I really don't. And yes, we don't know the ins and outs of it. The government haven't given us enough information to understand the ins and outs of it.
They've completely fucked up this campaign.
If they wanted to get across the line, they completely have fucked it up.
Have.
What I hope for is that it is seen as it's not seen as a tokenistic gesture, and meaning if the voice goes ahead and decisions are being made by that conglomerate of people or whoever it might be, or that group of people, that their decisions and what they're suggesting are actually taken seriously. There's enough tokenistic bullshit in this world,
and that's the problem, isn't it?
We see it as disabled people, and every other minority on the face of the earth knows about tokenism. But it needs to, if it's going to happen, it needs to make a real difference.
Exactly, and I think that's a lot of what people are worried about, is that it is just a tokenistic gesture, and that if people vote yes to this, things won't change because it doesn't go far enough. And I agree, it doesn't go far enough. Like, constitutional recognition should be there. It should be something that's
it's 2023, for Christ's sake.
Like why aren't the rights of Aboriginal people
oldest living culture in the world? And we're questioning whether this should be a thing or not.
I know, and but that's it. And I think that there are people voting this down, saying no because they're like, oh well, it doesn't go far enough. And that is also the thoughts of 20% of the Aboriginal community. They take that thought that it doesn't go far enough. It should go much further, and it should, but.
We've got to start somewhere.
It's got to happen.
We've got to start somewhere.
It has to. And we will get to the point where things will just go backwards, or it'll become stagnant if this is voted down. And it's such a tough one. Like I am in two minds because of that. Like I will personally vote yes, because I don't want to see this opportunity missed. However, I do see the points of view where people are saying that it's not far enough, that more needs to happen, there needs to be more information out there. But all I see it as, from my personal perspective, and this isn't the view of everyone, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's why there's a referendum on something like this. But for me personally, I think, well, this isn't something that directly affects me. No. It's not going to have a negative effect on me in any way. However, this could have a positive effect on 100%. Somebody else and really, really change their lives. So for me, I don't think there's any other way to vote other than yes, because I want to see a positive impact for every Australian. Not just for the occasional few. This is as people that fight every day for inclusion. We need to look at that across the board, and that that's part of it. Part and parcel with it is making sure that every individual, no matter their ability, their culture, their background, the language they speak, how they look, what they do, the color of their skin, none of that matters. Every single person should enjoy and be afforded the same opportunities in life, and that's what this is about. So that we can all be equal and treated the same, so that the outcomes are the same if you choose to take them. And it does come down to personal choice as well.
100%.
You can be given all the opportunities in the world, but if you don't take the chance on those opportunities, it's never going to happen for you anyway. But that's a completely different argument altogether.
It's a door that needs to be opened, and and we need to explore what's on the other side of that door.
100%. What I found really interesting is I was reading something the other day. It was a old newspaper advert from, when I say old, it was back from the 1900s when women were trying to gain suffrage. So when women were trying to gain the vote. And there were all these arguments from men, from the patriarchy, trying to shut down all these reasons why women should be allowed to vote.
I was horrified when you read me that.
And but the most horrific thing about it was those arguments that were being put forward then were a lot of the same as the arguments that are actually being put forward now.
How far have we actually come in all that time?
We haven't come far. Now, can you imagine how absolutely astounded everybody would be now if we were to show and go, oh, well, women can't vote? Everybody would just be like, no way, that's not happening. So why are the rights of Aboriginal people any different? I just see there is people aren't meaning to be racist. It's not out and out racism, but what it is unconscious bias. It's people being controlled by thoughts and opinions that they have that they don't even realize are sitting there in the background. And I get certain populations and their opinions on these things, like somebody I know who is a police officer who's seen a lot of really, really awful things happen, who has said that that person has said that they're going to be voting no for that reason. I understand that, because you're always going to be very, very, very controlled by the experiences you have in your life. But if you're taking your information and your understanding of this issue from what you've read on Facebook, for example, or the shit you're seeing on TV, then you need to do some more research, proper research, not fucking Facebook bullshit, proper research, so that you have a better understanding of how this potentially affects you, and unless you're Aboriginal, it doesn't. And how it can actually affect that community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we've
been on that rant now.
Yeah. I hope it goes through, but I have the feeling that it won't. Which is a shame. Everybody deserves the right to self-autonomy. Yeah.
And everyone deserves their right for an opinion, but
exactly.
That's just ours. And we have two microphones and we're allowed to share our opinion too.
And at the end of the day, this we will always respect the opinions of others. We're having this conversation as a conversation, and don't judge anyone for what their beliefs are. But this is how we feel, because we ourselves are part of a marginalised community. So I think we have an understanding of some of the unconscious biases and things that seem to be driving these arguments at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right, I think after having that rant, we should finish off on another rant that we can really sink our teeth into.
Yeah, okay. But I think just before we do...
Oh, okay.
I want to talk a bit about Sydney.
Oh, yeah, because you went to Sydney on your own without me.
Sophie, I did. Oh, my God.
Yep.
Oh, my God. What a mistake that was.
Well, it wasn't a mistake.
So, okay.
Maybe it was. No, it wasn't.
5 days before Oceania Throwdown, I did the Sydney Marathon.
Yeah.
I was invited as an elite athlete, an invited elite athlete, to take part in a marathon that they're trying to make a world major. So there's 6 currently. They're trying to make it the 7th world major. And what a freaking experience. I mean...
Cool.
They pay for you to stay in like 5-star luxury hotel. You have all your food and flights and accommodation, everything paid for. You have massages.
Very swanky.
It's a very, very cool experience. On marathon morning, they closed the Sydney Harbour Bridge and transported us by police escort over the Harbour Bridge. And I'm going to say this because it's funny, but I actually don't mean it. Sydney has double-decker trains, and we're driving along on the Harbour Bridge, and look over, and next to us we see all these people, plebs.
Rude.
I know, but it's funny. That's why I'm saying it's funny. I don't mean that. Like crammed like sardines on these double-decker trains, and they're just looking at us having the police escort across the bridge. And there's a couple of us sat on a great big frigging bus. We're like, hello. I'm like, I feel sorry for you guys, but I'm comfortable.
Suck.
I know.
Yeah.
I felt really bad.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I'm like, I feel bad, but I'm comfortable, so I'll see you at the start line.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, but it was the most incredible experience going over the Sydney Harbour Bridge with it closed and police escort. That was just nuts. Anyway, so you get to the start line and there's friggin', flamethrowers and bloody, podiums with things everywhere and bright flashing lights, and it's incredible. It's like next level. It's really next level, like nothing I've ever done before. And I was really excited about how the event was going to go. And well, this is me.
Yes.
This is me, and it didn't quite go to plan. So first off, you couldn't come with me because you had a family event.
It was
going
my
on.
sister's 40th birthday.
Yeah.
Hello, Katie.
Katie, you're selfish. No, I'm joking.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks ago now, but happy belated birthday.
Yes.
Anyway, so
it's recorded now, so it's there for all time.
It is. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'm joking, by the way, calling you selfish. That was a joke.
It's not what she said.
It's not what I said. Anyway, so I've got to, just as I'm pushing to the start line, my insulin pump started screaming at me, telling me that I needed to
that you were dying.
That the cannula was blocked. So I was like, I had an occlusion. I was like, shit, I'm going to have to change the cannula. So my spare cannula that I keep in my race bag to race with, I've quickly replaced it. Managed to get to the start line and warm up on time. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, woohoo, okay, all go, we're ready to go, stress over. Now, the start line at Sydney Marathon is around about 500 metres of uphill. There's a video of me coming off the start line, getting a really, really good start. I was really pleased with it. And around about 400 metres, you see me look down in my race chair. And what I'm looking at is my insulin pump screaming at me, saying, replace battery dead. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no.
So it's like I don't know what made me put a spare battery in that bag that day, because I never carry a spare battery in that bag, but for whatever reason I remembered to do it. But it was really fiddly and I couldn't get the pump to fix properly. Anyway, I did that, I fixed it, but by that point, because it's only a 2-minute head start in the wheelchair race to the able-bodied race, all the runners are taken over me, and after the 500 metre mark, you're going up into the bridge climb up over the Harbour Bridge. So I've got stuck behind everyone, and at that point I'm like, well, I'm not getting a good time on this race, but at least I can just go ahead and enjoy it. So I've slowed right down. I'm like, cool, I'm just going to enjoy it. At 6Ks, my pump crapped out again. started screaming at me. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So I've stopped, I fixed it again, carried on. By this time, I've probably lost like 20 minutes off the race by the time this has all happened. At 10Ks, I've gotten that somebody directed us and my lead cyclist down the wrong way, and I've ended up parallel to tram lines.
Excellent.
Which I cannot see because of my vision impairment, and I've literally got sucked into the tram lines and pulled. It must have been a good 100 meters.
Did you like my sound effect then?
Yeah, good job. I've got pulled down the tram lines, and I'm probably 100 meters down the road. And as I've tried to brake and stop myself, because I'm going to get really hurt at this point, and there's people everywhere, I've heard my front tire burst.
Oh.
Do you like my sound effect?
Yeah, that was that. And you know what? As somebody who's heard numerous
it's close to that, isn't
racing wheelchair front tires pop, that's exactly
Yeah.
pretty much what it does.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh no. So I know that as I turn around the corner from this section, I'm going into one of the steepest uphill parts of the entire race, and it is full of potholes. Like, it is the worst road surface I've ever seen. But, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to carry on anyway. So I've carried on, and I've gone another 10Ks after this point, at which point my pumpers decided it needs to calibrate. So I've stopped to calibrate it because, I've got no choice. I have to know what my blood sugars are doing.
Of course.
And I'm like, there's something not quite right here. My blood sugars are running really, really high. So I've checked my cannula, and because it was a new cannula and I was sweating and it hadn't had a chance to adhere properly, the bloody cannula had come out. And because I'd used my spare at the start of the race,
You didn't have
I
another
didn't
one.
have a spare, and I had. So that was really, really lucky. I had to pull out at that point.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to. It's 21Ks in. I was literally on the 21K mark, half marathon mark, and I've looked over and there's a medical tent next to me. So we've gone to the medical tent, thinking, essentially I might be able to get back into it if we can get this sorted. If they can give me some insulin or a cannula or something. And anyway, it was bloody useless. So in the end I was close to 3 hours without any insulin. They couldn't get any help through to me. There was even my medical supply bag, which was with my stuff at the finish line, they couldn't get through to me. It was hell. We were waiting 2.5 hours. They were about to cart me off to hospital. My blood sugars had gone dangerously high. I was scared. I was worried at that point. So and I was declining very, 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 very rapidly. And they were on the phone to the ambulance by the time when they actually managed to get my bag back to me. Because for me, especially during intense exercise like that, any period without insulin is a really, really, really bad thing.
Bad situation.
Anyway, and then because you weren't there, it was like even harder than it needed to be. So thanks.
That's what I'm here for. Or not on that occasion.
So anyway, I know you weren't there then, were you? Huh? But anyway, we've learnt that from now on, I ain't going to be going to major events like that without support, because it's without you. So just get used to it.
Fair enough.
But anyway, so that was my Sydney Marathon experience.
Does that mean you need me and I'm useful?
No. Don't make me say shit like that.
Yeah, we're recorded. Does that mean?
No.
Does that mean?
It means I require input on certain levels every now and again.
But not from it. If that's all it is, it wouldn't have to have been me. It could have been somebody else.
Well, yes. Essentially,
yes.
Maybe. Well, no.
There you go.
Actually, there's no one else that really understands my diabetes and all that kind of shit.
So
no, fuck off.
So what you're saying?
No, it's
what,
not
what you're saying.
What you're saying.
What you're saying?
No, it's what you're saying.
Is you need me?
Yes.
You need me.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, good. All right,
yeah.
cool.
Like a wheelchair user needs a nail.
Yep, exactly. No, you'll learn.
Yeah. Anyway, you didn't give me the choice but to go on my own. Just so we're clear.
Yes.
And there was the reason I wasn't going to do any more marathons.
You didn't have to go on your own. There were people that were willing to go with you.
No, I couldn't take them.
Why?
Because I couldn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Snuck them in. They're only pint size.
Anyway, it was. I loved the experience. It was a great experience being there, and I was bitterly disappointed about losing out on the prize money because that would have funded. And it was the whole reason I was doing. I was doing that marathon. We didn't think I'd get across the start line. It was 1 week after surgery. I had been through absolute hell. I was in severe pain. I can't even describe the pain I was in that day. Getting up the hills was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life with the pressure it was putting on my stomach. But yeah, I know. But I really wanted a chance at that prize money because it would have I'm unsponsored, unfunded, so that money would have got me to my next couple of races,
a couple of events, absolutely.
And I think I found that really difficult. I know that had I have managed to have a good race, I probably would have got that 5th place. But it is, and I'm good on hills. I'm very used to hilly courses like that. And everybody else was complaining about the heat that day, but for me it was actually just normal training weather. Being from Queensland, it felt. I wasn't hot. I was wearing a long sleeve top and a t-shirt. Everybody else is dying in their singlets, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is all right.
This isn't so bad.
I can cope with this.
It's a different heat.
But anyway, it's so I think that for me was a really difficult thing to deal with. But onwards and upwards, and hopefully onto Oita in Oita Marathon in November.
I know.
And then World Ability Sport Games in Thailand in December. So we've got a lot on.
I can't wait to go to Japan. I'm so looking forward to Japan.
I'm looking forward to Thailand as well.
Yeah, Thailand as well. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love Thai food?
Oh, I know. True that.
But Japanese is amazing too.
Yes. But anyway, yes, Sydney Marathon, awesome job, awesome. I really enjoyed the event. So, but you will kill me because I want to go back and do it next year, even though I've said no more marathons. Well, I can't only get halfway through and not finish it.
No, you're a big girl. If you want to go back and try and kill yourself a second time, go right ahead.
No, but you'll be with me this time.
Will I though?
Yes, you will.
Will I?
Yes, you will.
All right. Can we have a rant now?
Yes, do it.
We'll finish off with a rant.
Okay, do it.
All right, excellent.
Social media takedown.
I'm sorry. I'm going to apologise for that now.
That was terrible.
That was so bad. I do not have a metal voice.
No.
It was terrible.
No, but you've got a great voice. You should sing more often.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but you've got a great voice. Why are you so embarrassed? Like, you're the most outgoing person I've ever met, yet you won't sing, which is something that you are really good at.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't say nice things about you often, so take that as a compliment.
I know.
You've gone really quiet now, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm a little, but yeah.
Yeah, you're all shy and bashful.
All right, so social media takedown.
Oh yeah, hang on, we're getting into the takedown. Come on.
I tell you what's and this is going to be a rant.
Okay.
You and I often talk about differing opinion, and we differ sometimes on differing on opinions and stuff. But we're very well. A lot of the time we're very well aligned. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. And I'm very much each their own. Everyone has their own opinion, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Social media is pissing me off something chronic at the moment because every time you pick up your phone or your iPad or whatever, and you're scrolling through Facebook or the news, and there's a story about somebody who's passed away, whether it be a sports person or some other famous person
or just Joe Blogs off the street.
I can guarantee you that somewhere in those comments underneath, it's like, oh, another vaccine injury or was he vaccinated? Yeah. Who gives a flying toss if he was vaccinated?
What's that got to do with anything? Like, what if somebody were to die of cancer, you wouldn't go, oh, another cancer death. You just wouldn't, because it's disrespectful and somebody has just lost a person in their life that they love. That person is loved and had family. So why have you got any right to ask any kind of question? This is not about COVID. Like, whatever, the arguments about COVID, whatever.
Yeah,
but
we're not...
That's not... This is more about people being fucking disrespectful and not caring that there's somebody's just died. Like, what does it matter what the reason is? What's it to do with anyone?
Anti-vaxxers and anti, and I get there's there's an complete anti-vaxxer, and then there's people that are just against this vaccine, and whatever. That's all. That's
personal choice.
That's your personal choice, and whatever works for you. That's totally cool. But if somebody's a family is suffering because they've lost someone, and I just think it's a real punch in the guts to turn around and go, oh, were they vaccinated, or oh, it's a vaccine injury or something. How the fuck would you even know if they were vaccinated or not? That's not something you're even going to know about.
I know, that people become that self-absorbed in their own thoughts and feelings on something that divisive that they feel the need to make people feel bad in their time of grief. Yeah. It's just what's happened to society. It's so messed up.
It's a real,
It's just it's insensitive.
It is. I'm going to express my opinion, and everyone's entitled to my opinion, and I don't give a shit who I'm going to upset or offend. And
I know everybody's entitled to their opinion, but you can still have respect. You can still be empathetic. You can still treat someone with humanity. Mm-hmm. What has happened to people that just because they're on social media they feel like they can say things that are just really inappropriate? It's like and it happens in so many different ways, not just this. Why do we feel this need to make ourselves be heard but in really unkind ways? Mm-hmm. Like you can still be human. Think that in your head if you want to, but why would you put that as a comment on somebody's post about somebody dying? Mm-hmm. And it's not just on like news articles and shit like that. I've actually seen it on the posts of someone who's announcing like the death of a parent. Like what the fuck?
Seriously.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Why? What possible business is it of yours to know that information anyway?
And I've seen people in these threads on news and different things being pulled up, and they're like, oh, it's a legitimate question.
No, it's
I'm
not.
like, no, it's fucking not.
It's not legitimate.
At that particular point in time, it is not legitimate question. It's
unless you are a family member of that person, it ain't none of your fucking business.
Exactly.
So shut up. I'm sorry. Exactly. I'm so wound up about this. It's just I don't care what your opinion is on COVID. Everybody's entitled to whatever they feel and believe about that. What I do care about is people being made to feel like shit after somebody in their life has died. Like. Mm-hmm. It's nothing to do with anyone how their death was caused.
Social media is really, in a lot of ways, has really stopped people from or being able to be empathetic. Like people have lost their empathy through social media a lot. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because we're subjected to so much more now, and it's just so it's so much more in your face and available.
Yeah, and it's made people become numb to it, and with that numbness, they've lost their ability to feel and understand. And I just think that's it's a very, very sad state of affairs.
I agree. I really do.
Like there are lots of fantastic things about social media, but there's also some really awful things about it. And I think as a society we've definitely taken a step backwards with our ability to be kind. And we do the kindness virus, so there is a lot of kindness out there. Like there's a lot of incredible people out there, but there's just so much. It's thoughtlessness. Yeah. That's what it is. It's just thoughtlessness. We've lost our social skills.
Yeah. We have.
We've lost our ability to be human and to socialize in a kind, nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. But anyway, that's my social media rant. I've seen it so much lately, and I'm just I'm at the point where I don't. And I don't know why I read comments anyway. I don't know why.
Because you like the drama.
It's like driving past an accident that you can't look away from. Like
once again, you like the drama.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah. Social media, once again, fantastic in many ways, but also it's the cesspit of bloody humanity at the same time.
You're not wrong.
I know.
It brings out people's true colours.
I don't know. I don't even know if it is people's true colours half the time.
No,
I feel like because they haven't got the social constraints when other people are around to stop them from
They can't
doing
see
stupid shit.
the sideways looks that they get.
And so they don't even think about what they're doing before they do it. So yes, sometimes, quite often, it's people that are just dicks and you know, they're trolls or whatever. That's just their personality. But quite often as well, it's people that just aren't thinking before they act, and because they don't have the social constraints around them, they're just making stupid choices and thoughtless choices. They're not assholes, but they're being thoughtless in their actions. And I think that's the one good thing about face-to-face action, you know, activity rather than, you know, stuff online. You actually have those social boundaries that you don't always have when you're online. You know, people do stupid shit online.
People got balls when they're online, eh? Like they just do. People.
Well, I know I post shit online that I probably wouldn't say half the time in person. So it's the same kind of thing.
Exactly. Hey, look, that's us for the day.
Is it really? We've managed to get through an entire hour show.
Oh no, how good's that?
I know, it's we've done all right.
This has been good. So thank you very much for watching and or listening.
Yes.
If people want to follow along, how do they get in touch with us, Natasha?
They can find us on Instagram at 2crips.1 pair of legs. They can find us on Facebook on the Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs podcast. And you can also find us on our website, invincible.co. We have a podcast page on there. So
also, Media 8. Who are Podfire, who are the incredible people that help us pull this thing together and actually make us sound decent.
So I know they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, believe me, they do. Yeah, that's why we only do this podcast every fortnight. Every fortnight, because it takes them 2 weeks.
Yeah. By the way, guys, we with all the drama and surgeries and you know, bloody death things and shit, everything that happened, we actually didn't death of me almost dying. Hang on, we just spoke about that. We actually didn't really talk much about the second half of Graziella's interview, which was released 2 weeks ago. So if you guys want to follow us along and want to watch the second half of Graziella's interview, it is out now, so go and watch the last show. And
I would suggest, if you've got some time, binging both.
Yes,
because they are really, really cool. Lots and lots to learn.
Lots and lots, like Graziella's incredible.
She's
what she does.
Cool lady.
She is, and we're hoping to have some really, really good guests coming up. We've got Tennille Cross coming up. She is the Australian representative heptathlete.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I think it's
multi-sport.
She's
disciplinary.
Awesome. Yeah, so she will be coming on, hopefully on the next episode. We're hoping, if this works out right.
We'll work on that. I know she's about to get on a big plane to go overseas as well. So hopefully we'll catch her before she goes. Yeah,
and we've got the Wheel Wad guys coming on soon, and we've also got Joel Murray, multi-sport MC. For those, he is an awesome human who does all the MCing for events like Sydney Marathon, the Commonwealth Games, a lot of the marathons we attend. He's a triathlete himself, so guys, you'll have to catch that episode because it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I'm working on getting a representative from Little Athletics as well, because I think that would be a really cool conversation, because grassroots, we talk a lot about grassroots sport and the importance of it. So I think if we can make that happen, that'd be a cool conversation to have.
And we've got some non-sport related interviews too, but I can't think of any of them off the top of my head. So
that's
there
okay.
we go. Anyway, so guys, make sure you like make sure you like and subscribe if you're watching on Facebook. Make sure you like if you're watching on not Facebook, YouTube. And join us next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs. As always, we'd like to thank our studio guests for joining us, and of course to the legends at Podfire for making all of this come to life. If you like what you've heard, or even if we've offended the shit out of you, but you still want to hear more, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also check out our Insta page. 2crips.onepairoflegs, and you'll be the first to know when a new episode drops.